time to rock as toe gets ready to meet leather. And we are underway from the Superdome. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, second down.
You've got to be impressed by the defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Off of play action, Tagovailoa. Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Caleb Chason, the former first-rounder, in there to get the sack. But just 2 plays in, and Charles already their first sack defensively.
Yeah, how about that? That didn't take long, did it? And now they look at third down, and that's another time to try and go and get the quarterback, too.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. But, man, his first throw, that nearly went the other way. Instead, it's 4th down. Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. It'll be a 40-yard punt, 8 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 45. Throwing to start the drive. Watts. And he whips that one incomplete there.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun. Watts. On the slant, complete to Michael Thomas. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. This defense for the Dolphins, they were quite formidable in the win over Philly a week ago.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave them with some options here on 4th and inches.
I'll bet they thought they had picked that one up because it was a 3rd and 2 call, and they got awfully close. Now we're at 4th and inches. I wonder if they think they're feeling lucky here and maybe want to go pick it up.
On 4th down, Watts. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Curl. And the Dolphins will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting negative
to a hit, and the ball is out. And this is picked up by the Saints, and he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit. but not go down and fumble the ball.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Off the bootleg. Watts. He hits Baldwin right side. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
70 Ranger.
On 3rd down, Watts. I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
And that hits the crossbar and comes back, and it's no good. And by just a whisker, this remains a scoreless game. Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was a crossbar that said otherwise, and that'll deny him a shot at 3.
On 1st down, Tagovailoa. And this is incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
To throw again on 2nd down. Tua batted by the safety but caught anyway. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
Hey, during the course of any game, you'll see tip passes. But how often do we actually see the running back come up and end up making the play?
Well, shifty fella getting in there and grabbing it.
Yeah, you know, they always talk about how running backs have a nose for the end zone. They have a nose for the ball, too. They want in their hands at all times.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Two to throw again. 20! And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Tua going to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Hill. Following the play now, they're going to stop the clock here as a man is shaken up. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Bates, and he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5.
And that's why you spend a first-round draft pick on a running back. Not for just the fancy runs, but these dirty, gritty 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. That's why you draft him.
Ready,
5 yards from the end zone, 1st and goal. Play action, now it's Tua. Out to his, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. It'll go as nearly a loss of 10 on 1st and goal, so a disaster there. It goes as a 9-yard loss on the sack. It's 2nd and goal, but now all the way back at the 14. another try after the first down sack. Tua. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games and another good start to this one out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you, along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. As we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Again, it's Kamara. Taken down at the 42. The Saints had a woeful 3-12 on the year. Yeah, they've lost 3 straight here, and it kind of goes without saying, I guess, but they could certainly use a win.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's a difference between a losing stretch and a losing streak, and right now, they're not playing their best football, but if they were to fall here, and now you're looking at going 4 games without a win.
And he fires one that's intercepted. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 43.
To throw again on 2nd down. Tua. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. So a roughing the passer penalty and an automatic first down.
And that's the mark of a bad team, partner, because that's an easily preventable penalty, but they just didn't take the proper steps to make it so.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted. And the Saints are going to get it back here just shy of the 20. Bear in mind they had 2 interceptions last week, but that was in 4 quarters. They've got 2 here in the first quarter alone.
And the unsung people in this streak, the pass rushers, because most of the time, they're the ones that affect things in the pocket for a quarter.
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Saints nothing.
I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Back to throw. Watts. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Here comes the Saints punter now. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. It's a 39-yard punt, 3 on the return, and it'll be Dolphin football.
At their own 37-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best of the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Dillon now on 1st and 10. And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. They run again with Dillon. On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
On play action, here's Tua. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about. So they say no to the penalty. The incompletion stands. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And what they want to do is go ahead and take those downs away from them. You never want to give extra snaps to any offense. That's how you get hurt.
On the ready.
Tua once again here on 2nd and 10. Quick slant, Tyreek Hill with it. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. He's up over 50 yards receiving now in this first half. It's a first down.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
They fake the handoff. Now Tua. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Tyreek Hill, his 25th touchdown, tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Dolphins have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that'll make the score 14-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Off play action. Watts. That's going to be caught. It's Palmer. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. Sanders now to add the extra point. And it is now 21-0.
Makes the score Dolphins 21, Saints nothing.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return.
This is going to be returned from middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably...
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They run the counter. Bates. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Tua sets up to pass it. And able to find Gesicki as tight end. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Everything's going right here in this first half, and they've got a good lead, and part of that can be attributed to their success on 3rd downs. This is another conversion here, and they can look to really open things up now with this 1st and goal.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Bates. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Bates. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Well, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop.
So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Kamara up the middle. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And he'll get maybe a couple before he's taken down, as that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Looking to throw on second down. Watts will get this over the middle here to Palmer. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 19.
First and 10 at the 19-yard line.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other, because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first-half scores just like this one.
And second and 10, he'll look to throw again. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
Third down and 10.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Out now is the field goal unit for New Orleans. This will be from 49 yards out. And his kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Ready, play.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. We'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
2 and now on first down. Over the middle and complete to Waddle. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Let's go.
New Orleans adding some depth to the secondary. They've got 6 DBs out there now for third. Looking to pass. Tua. Got a man. It's Waddle, complete. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
He's put up numbers in this one by pushing the envelope a bit whenever he could with deeper throws. Well, let's play a little philosophy here. Some plays it works. Sometimes they're ready for you. And that time, they were on guard. Incomplete.
Okay, break.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Tua. And this one is incomplete.
Good defensive call right there because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route. And he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Tua setting up shop to throw again. This will be caught. It's Waddle. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
And their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So this lead, Charles, is continuing to swell here in the first half.
Well, it's interesting. When we talked to them prior to the game, they told us that their game plan was take no prisoners, and they've lived up to it so far because everything has worked. No guarantee that'll continue, but all in all, this coaching staff's got to be very pleased by what they've seen.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
Here we go, strike. Street, street. Pat the street, pat the street.
They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports Halftime Report. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
They're on the 17-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Well, they look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any one of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive. But maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Go track, go track. Ready.
Up the middle they go. Whitfield
Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. Second down.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Operating from the gun. Watts over the middle, complete. It's Palmer. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. And he's got room. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
They'll look to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst. And if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Tua. He finds his man, complete. That's Ellis. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards the pickup there.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Now Tua on the bootleg here. And that is incomplete here.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Tua going to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Chason able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
He is going to find Hill here. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 18. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15. Going old reliable there to the slot on 3rd down.
And the slot position has become the bane of just about every defense's existence because how do you cover? Do you go with the bigger guy to try and use size? Try to go with the quicker guy and sometimes even get out quick there. Very difficult to match up with that slot receiver. That's why they keep going back to him.
And he's had the hot hand. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16.
And that's a great job of tackling right there. If he could have made the first man miss, maybe he could have taken it into the end zone. Instead, they stopped him pretty well right in his tracks, and you often see that in the red zone. Offense has to be quick. In this case, the defense was quicker.
And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. And it's caught. Touchdown. Mike Gesicki. A 16-yard touchdown as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and they open the lead up now to 25. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Off the play fake. Watts. And his throw here is incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Operating from the gun. Watts. He finds his man. Complete. It's Palmer. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Here comes the Saints punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. The long drive last time out for this offense, Charles, if you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Open man is Waddle, complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, those backups on the sideline, they got to be eagerly anticipating the fourth quarter upcoming. Look at the size of the lead, how they're moving the football. This defense really struggling and giving up plays like we just saw.
Yeah, the Stars have certainly done all they've needed to in this one, haven't they? But my question is, will he be able to resist the urge to continue to run things up a bit and get his main guys a few bonus stats before he calls them off the field?
He finds his man, complete. It's Ellis. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. He finds his man, complete. It's Ellis. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL.
Okay, ready?
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Bates. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Hey, check neighbor. Ready?
On 3rd down, here's Dillon. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on 3rd down. Tua going to tap this forward on the jet sweep. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Tyreek Hill with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins are about to make it 4 straight as they add to this 4th quarter advantage. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Facing a big 4th quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football.
A feather in the cap for the defender, picking off one of the league's better quarterbacks so far this season, and add another feather in the cap for the coaches, too. Excellent game plan, and they had their guys aware of his ability to roll out and how to defend against it.
Running up the middle, here's Dillon. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Jason Sanders for the record field goal. A 57-yard.
That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good, but that shouldn't matter a great deal as they still lead by a bundle here. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the fourth quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
Throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. He got 29 yards that time.
First and 10 at the 24-yard line.
Throwing on first down. Watts. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. He finds his man complete. It's Palmer. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down.
That pattern and scheme was well defensed on 3rd down. He tried to just sprint from one side of the field to the other, and they got it to him quickly. But no chance at yards after the catch there, and they stop him short.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. This one taken in by Olave. And the Saints are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Here we go. Strike.
Complete to Chris Olave. 1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
They'll look to throw again. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. But we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted.
And he is going to go down back at the 11-yard line. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated into their own defensive scheme.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off Byron Jones. And the Dolphins are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Ready, play.
The 19-yard line.
They'll keep it on the ground.
Saints. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. To throw on third down, Samuels. And they try to set up the screen, but that almost disaster as it falls incomplete. Very nearly a turnover, but it's fourth down. A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Looking to throw. Watts. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
On 3rd down, Watts. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over.
Okay,
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Now a give, right, and now a fumble. The ball's out. The Saints say they have it, and they do. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, it becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
To throw on 2nd down, Watts. Here's Johnson with a reception. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
Talk about 2 sides of the ball at cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. That front 7, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And the Dolphins come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. Charles, a lot of